Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Now, is activity heating up for Arsenal, as there are lots of reports out today that Arsenal have made a bid for the Sampdoria pair. That is Joachim Andersen and Dennis Praet. We've been speaking a lot about them over the past couple of days, and there are a lot of reports coming out of Italy that Arsenal have reportedly bid for the duo, and that Sampdoria have accepted Arsenal's latest bid. There were reports that Arsenal bid £37 million for them, but that was rejected. But that Arsenal have now returned with a new bid of £40 million, which is around about 50 million euros, and Sampdoria have accepted that bid. So it's going to be very interesting to see if this does go right through to fruition. I mean, Praet is seen as a replacement for Aaron Ramsey. Midfield player, has had a really, really good season for Sampdoria. And Anderson, a centre-back, again, as you know, we all know about our problems at centre-back. And we all know that we desperately need to bring in a new centre-back. And Anderson is seen as a player that can definitely fill that role. So, who knows? You know we hear these stories time and time again about bids being accepted, etc., etc. They don't always come through. AC Milan are said to be really, really interested in Anderson as well, and he's said to prefer a move that keeps him in Italy. But as I always say, let's see how this one turns out. Thomas Meunier as well. Again, another one that's been talked about right since the start of me doing Transfer Daily here. Literally every day. Right back, plays for PSG. Unai Emery knows him from his time at PSG. He's a very good right back. Can get up and down the wing. We know that with the problems we've been having with injuries with Bellerin, the fact that Lichtsteiner didn't work last season and he's now left. Aizmetin stepped in, but he's not really a right back. Thomas Meunier would be a good signing. Now, the reports are that Arsenal have bid £22 million for Thomas Meunier, and that's a deal that could happen. Manchester United also interested in him as well. They want to get a right back in there as well. Meunier has said that he wants to stay at PSG, but it does look like PSG would be willing to sell Meunier. So again, could this one happen? Let's see. We definitely need to sort out our defence, and he would improve on that 100%. So I think personally that would be a good signing if it happens, but let's see how that one develops out. Now, could Arsenal have Alexis? Now, before you all say, oh, what's going on? Alexis, no, thank you, he's a United player, he's flopped there, how much money would it cost, etc., etc. Not that Alexis, but another Alexis who plays for Lorient. In League 2 over there in France. His name is Alexis Claude-Maurice. He's a winger, plays for Lorient, and he's had a great season. He scored 14 goals over there in Liga 2 last season. Now, lots of clubs interested in him. West Ham, Monaco, Lille, Frankfurt, just to mention a few. All of those interested in him. West Ham have said to have even put a bid in for him, but it's now being said that Arsenal have bid £11.5 million for the winger. Said to be one of the top prospects over there in France. Remember, Lorient were the club where we signed Matteo Guendouzi from for 8 million last season. We all said who? And he's turned out to be a really, really good player and has figured regularly in the Arsenal team. So, again, could this one happen? Could there be a new Alexis on the Arsenal scene? We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. Now, William Saliba is another player over there in France, plays for Saint Etienne. Spoken about him on the show over the past few days. Only 18, a really talented centre-back. Unai Emery said to be a real fan of him and really would like to bring him in at Arsenal. Now, there seems to be a bit of a sticking point over the deal. There again are reports that Arsenal are said to have bid up to £25 million for Saliba. They are really, really interested in him. However, Saint Etienne are willing to sell him, but they want Arsenal to loan him back for next season. Arsenal are unwilling to do that. They don't want to loan him back. They want Saliba straight away to come straight into the team. And that is said to be a bit of a sticking point on Saliba. Manchester City Also interested in Saliba and Man United. Manchester City said to be very interested, and that's always a danger when they're very interested. And after watching John Stones play for England last night and the mistakes that he made, you can see why they're looking at other defenders. Again, who knows how this one's going to turn out. Also looking at loads of centre-backs at the moment. But it does look like Saliba is one of those that Unai Emery really does prefer to try and bring in. Young, one for the future definitely as well. Who knows? Again, it's going to be one of those sagas that continue on. And then there's Moussa Dembele, a real French connection today. Another player who plays over there in Ligue 1. This time with Lyon. Only 22 still, Moussa Dembele. He had a brilliant time when he was at Celtic. I mean, he was all conquering up there in Scotland for Celtic. Really had a breakout season there. And then he moved to Lyon and he's played really well over there as well. Done really well at Lyon. Now there's a host of Premier League clubs interested in him. Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool as well. It's said that he'd cost up to £35 million. Arsenal said to be really interested in him as well. Could be a bit of a bidding war, which means to count us out. Dembele is a very good player, but £35 million, would Arsenal outlay that on him? I'm not too sure, but that is one of the big rumours going around today. Linked as well today also with a Russian player, a Russian winger. His name is Fedor Chalov. Now, Fedor Chalov currently plays for CSKA Moscow. He's only 21. Now, again, another player who had a great season last year. 15 goals in 30 appearances for CSKA Moscow. He's a winger, a really talented winger. His performances have led to him being capped by Russia 2 times. And Monaco and Sevilla are very interested in him, as well as Arsenal. As we all know, Arsenal, we need a proper out-and-out winger. That's one of the things that we have lacked over the past couple of seasons. And Fedor Chalov is one of the players that Arsenal are looking at. Notice that Arsenal, a lot of the players they seem to be looking at are young players, 18, 19, 20, 21, that sort of bracket, which is a good thing, but Arsenal also need a bit of experience in there as well. Now, what about Mario Gotze? This rumour emerged about a week ago about Gotze being linked with a move to Arsenal. Of course, Gotze, we all remember him for scoring the winning goal for Germany in the 2014 World Cup final, something you can never take away from a player. It's almost seemed that ever since that, his career has not really taken off. I mean, he went to Bayern Munich, didn't work out, it's gone back to Dortmund. It's done okay, he's done well for Dortmund. Still only 26. The German forward, and Arsenal were heavily linked with a move for Mario Gotze. He's only got 1 year left on his contract, so it would be a deal that you wouldn't have to pay exorbitant amounts of money to get the deal done. But Dortmund coming out today, their sporting director, and saying that listen, we heard about all the rumours, we've heard about all the links linking him here and there. But we're going to sit down with Mario Gotze and try and thrash out a deal for him to stay. We don't want him to leave the club. We want him to stay at the club. So who knows what will go on with this one. Mario Gotze, is that the sort of player we want? As I said, he's not really, since that World Cup, where after the World Cup he was considered one of the best forwards in the world, he's just not lived up to it since then. It's just, he's not really taken off for me, and I'm not too sure, unless he was very cheap, that would be a signing that I'd be like over enthusiastic about. But Dortmund looking to try and hold on to him anyway, so let's see how that one develops. Now, remember yesterday's show, we did a poll about Granit Xhaka. I asked the question, should we sell or keep Granit Xhaka? He's been linked with a move to Inter Milan. His cousin was said to have said that, Inter Milan are willing to pay up to 50 to £55 million for him. 81% of you, 81, that's staggering, said that we should sell him. Only 19% said that we should keep Granit Xhaka. Again, a bit like the Ozil one the other day, looks like fans have kind of, had enough of Granit Xhaka, and they're like thinking it's time to move on. And certainly if Arsenal was able to get that sort of fee for him, in my opinion, that's my opinion only, I would take it, Xhaka, as I said, I think he had a fairly decent season last year, but still a player that is prone to these sloppy mistakes. And for that sort of fee, I think you get that fee and you could bring in a replacement, no problem. And I think you guys are looking at it and thinking the same way. But really interested in that. Really, we continue to do some of these polls on some of these players on whether you want to keep them or move them out. I mean, let me do another one today. Mustafi. Now, there's not really been many links linking him out of the club yet. Does look like Arsenal might sell him. They may end up keeping him. He's an experienced player. Do we keep him or sell him? Squadron Mustafi. He said that he doesn't want to leave. He wants to stay at the club. What do you guys think? Vote in the poll today. Thanks for watching AFTV Transfer Daily today. Don't forget to check out us each and every day here on AFTV. Later on, we've got a great podcast. Make sure you check that out as well with me and DT. Where DT saying, popular question saying that he doesn't think Stan Kroenke is the only one to blame for the current miss at Arsenal. Make sure you listen to that. It's coming up today. Thanks for watching the show, and we'll be back tomorrow.